Well, UTRGV testing sites not as busy lately. Channel 5's Christian Von Preissing spoke with medical school officials about what it might indicate about the COVID spike in the valley.
When COVID started hitting the valley, UTRGV was the first to open a public testing site, and testing has continued through the pandemic. 4 weeks ago, the number of test samples UTRGV collected at its sites peaking around 400 to 500 a day.
That's dropped off in the last week. So we have about 300 tests that we do in our drive-throughs that we operate.
Dean of the UTRGV School of Medicine, Dr. John Kraus, says demand for other things is down too. UTRGV also runs a large lab to test its own samples and those of other healthcare providers. Demand for those lab tests also about half of what it was before, at about 800 samples tested a day now.
I think it's very good news. I think there is a subtle but measurable decline in new cases. I think hospitalizations have gone down here in the last week or so. These are good signs. I mean, I think it's pointing to the fact that perhaps the burden of COVID-19 has started to decline a bit in the valley, and that's very good news.
Dr. Kraus attributes that to people getting the message about social distancing, mask wearing, hand washing. The medical director of the public health region that oversees these counties also seeing a decline in demand for state testing services. In the past 16 days, Cameron County with 1,500 samples, Hidalgo County with 4,400 samples, Willacy County with 400 samples, and Starr County with 1,700 samples. Those numbers all lower than the weeks before.
So a lot of people have been dealing with recovery of Hurricane Hanna. So we've definitely seen from our numbers today from pre-Hanna a large drop.
Dr. Emily Pro saying people may be tied up with hurricane recovery and less likely to go in for a test. But we're no longer dealing with the long lines and turnarounds we saw before.
Before people would sign up or they would even wait if there was a walk-up testing site, they would be waiting from almost the day before. So we're not seeing that as much now.
The number of tests down at the state level and at UTRGV. The exact reason why, still unclear. Dr. Kraus saying we still have a long way to go.
We just need to remind people that this is a marathon, not a sprint, and people just need to be patient. We will be past this, and there will be a time again that we can return back to more normalcy. We're just not there yet.
Christian Von Preissing, Channel 5 News at 6.